Hello, welcome to IMTEX 2023. We're here in Bangalore still. I'm absolutely loving it. This is my day 2, but your day 5, Ashutosh, right?
Day 6, man.
Day 6, oh my God, he's been running around, shaking hands, saying hello to everybody. Everyone's
Yeah.
like, Ashutosh, please talk to me, God, I need you. You've been very busy, I assume you're a bit tired now, but you're ready to do another live?
No, I'm full of energy right now, and we are now standing in front of UCAM stall, which is very well known for global quality for rotary table, and they have some more business verticals as well, like Nimble Electric and Nimble Machines.
Absolutely. So we've got a lot coming up today and tomorrow. We're going to be talking about gear hobbing machines. We're going to talk about radial bevel gear machining, which is all very complicated, very hard to do. I need a very accurate machine to do that, but we're not talking about that today. What are we talking about today?
We are going to talk about rotary tables because this is one of the premier range for rotary table from UCAM, and I'm going to meet Mr. Indradev Babu, who's the MD of the company.
Go on, you're talking to the
So
MD,
let
let's
me-
go.
Hi sir, how are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing well.
So it's a very nice stand you have done here. So how has been your experience in IMTEX after 4 years?
The experience has been fantastic. I'm extremely pleased. We were not really expecting so many footfalls. We have really very good inquiries and leads and even hot inquiries.
Amazing. So can you please explain to me about what three business verticals you have, because UCAM is very well known for rotary table across the world and for the global quality, but you have new product lines here as well. Please explain.
We have 3 product lines. Our main flagship product is the CNC rotary indexing tables, which is growing very well, and we are pleased about it. And I'm happy to announce that we have launched the Q series, which is having a lot of features which helping the customer. We also produce high performance motors, torque motors and customized motors for machine tool and other applications. The other is a machine tool vertical where we build gear cutting machines. We make precision high speed gear hobbers and spiral beaver gear generators.
Fantastic. So all business verticals are, kind of integrated with each other, right? Complementary with each other. So you can, give a holistic solution to your customers.
That's right. There is though it seems quite different, there is a common connect. The motors are supplied to both the rotary table manufacturing as well as for the gear machine manufacturing. And there is one company with 3 different verticals and independent brands.
Amazing, sir. But today I think we are going to focus on rotary tables, and now I will hand over it to my colleague Rowan, who is going to talk about rotary tables.
So now we're going to be talking to Varun Dev. Thank you very much, sir. We're going to be talking to Varun Dev about the rotary tables here at UCAM. And now they do, rotary tables are something maybe people overlook for, and they're made for VMC machine tools that maybe you've got different parts that you need to be making, and they can really improve the productivity of VMC. And now I'm here with Varun. Hello. So Varun is here, and you're going to be taking us around the booth here today and showing us what products you've chosen to put on the stand and why you've chosen to put them here. But first of all, for people who don't know, what is a rotary table?
Basically, a rotary table is a machine that sits on a vertical milling machine to improve your productivity. So it can make a 3-axis machine into a 4-axis or a 5-axis machine. So a rotary table is an intricate piece of machinery that fits into a 3-axis vertical milling machine, and people use it so that they have flexibility and agility, so that they can go ahead and improve their productivity, reduce the setup time, reduce the cycle times. Yeah.
Absolutely. So it's a piece of tech that people need to know about. If you've got a VMC machine, you need to know about rotary table, because you might be turning away work because you say, well, I can't make that, but you might be able to make it if you just invested in a piece of equipment like what we're about to see. So without further ado, let's start looking at some of the products. Do you want to start with the new product line, Varun, or do you want to talk about the standard products, the high speed? Where do we want to go?
So let's start with the high-speed table, because
Okay.
that's a
Look, come on, that's your USP, so we'll come, get Shrishti, get a look at the high speed table. So we're looking, which one is it?
So this is the 200 URQH series. Maybe if you can go around.
So if you go around, you can see that the rotary table it's quite a small, compact beast. But why do you need a high-speed rotary table? What's the importance of the high speed?
So basically, this particular rotary table goes on drill tap centers, and it runs at higher speeds, right? So it runs at 55 RPM when compared to a usual rotary table that runs at 33 RPM. So people who like to do electronics manufacturing or auto sector manufacturing, they prefer a high-speed rotary table.
Absolutely. If you've got the volumes you need to be making parts out the importance is reducing that cycle time, and a high-speed rotary table helps you do that. And then we're looking at, so these two look very different to me. Is there a big difference in construction? Is this a different kind of rotary table?
Yeah. So this is a direct drive rotary table, and it's a new launch. It's basically for the electronic industry. This particular rotary table fits into a drill tap center where you can increase your productivity, increase your cycle times, and it's usually used for mobile phone manufacturing or any electronic components.
Okay, so looking at the difference in construction, we're talking there's mechanical, a servo motor and a mechanical system here. How does this actually work? You're telling me there are no gears in this rotary table?
Yeah, so the traditional approach, just like what you said, is a servo motor connected to the worm and worm wheel gearbox, whereas over here this is a direct drive. It works on a torque motor. This is a permanent magnet motor that's directly can give the same amount of torque that a gear-driven rotary table is able to give.
Absolutely, wow. But it can move a lot quicker because you don't have all those mechanical components turning in the gear train. So we've talked about these two, and now I guess in these two cases you are pretty much directly mounting the component on with a little piece of work holding maybe, but here is a very different construction. What do you call this kind of configuration?
So this kind of configuration is called the production system, where we have a 4th axis table mounted on one side of it, and there's a tailstock mounted on the other side of it. This goes and sits on your vertical milling machine, and it's for companies that like to reduce the setup time. So people generally, in auto sector, people like to get the most out of a machine. So what they do is they add a setup where there's a 4th axis table, a tailstock. This is a fixture plate that sits on top of it. In this particular setup, we also have 0-point systems that is integrated into the base plate of the machine.
So you've got 4 0-point here.
Exactly.
And it's like you say, it's integrated into, this is kind of a trunnion, this is the base plate that you would manufacture for a certain machine tool with a base plate. But on top of here, this is actually what would be a customer manufactured base plate.
Exactly. The customer manufactures a small plate, puts 3 to 4 different components or 5-6 components depending on the size. They can easily remove and place another set of components. So this is highly attractive for the auto sector.
Absolutely, and if you imagine, I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm imagining a horizontal machine tool with a pallet changer, or a VMC maybe, but with a pallet changer, you imagine you've got better setup times if you're setting up the pallets, each component, but if you can just bang, take a base plate off, put another base plate on, that absolutely speeds up your setup times, means your operators can go and work on, you could almost get one operator working maybe 4 horizontal machines if you really wanted to, and even then on a vertical machine, you could probably have one operator working maybe 2 VMCs and 3, and making sure you get parts out as quick as possible, and that's what this is all about, I guess.
Exactly. So basically, this version is called the URPQ series. It comes with a high-speed version and the normal version. So for people who want to place this on a drill tap center, they can do that as well.
Absolutely. And one important thing to note here, I'm sorry, I sound like I know what I'm talking about because I know a little bit about rotary tables, not as much as Varun here, I'm afraid, but what I love about it is it's not mechanical. You don't have to go in and change. You get an Allen key, you get a tool, come in here. You can completely control this automatically with a rotary joint here. You just plug in your hydraulic lines or pneumatic lines, and then you can automatically clamp, unclamp, making it even quicker to make these parts. Right, let's move on. What's next?
So what next is this year?
Come on, Shrishti, come on over here.
So this year we're launching the latest generation of rotary tables. It's called the URQ series. So we have totally we have 5 sets of products over here that we're showcasing. We have a more compact, 30% more compact rotary table, lesser in weight, and people can use higher acceleration and deceleration times on the machining centers. And we're trying to make the we have made the 5-axis table more compact than the previous generation of rotary tables. So people prefer this kind of option so that they can get higher outputs of the machining center.
Absolutely, and the viewers have only seen 4th axis rotary tables. Now, 4th axis is kind of, you go X, Y, Z as your VMC, and then you get normally a C, like an A or a B. But what is a 5th axis? What does that do, and why is it called 5th axis?
So basically, it's called a 5th axis because when you have a 3-axis machine, and they like to make complex parts, say aerospace parts.
Like the part we see right here, this demonstration.
Yeah, exactly. So you see that there are multiple different holes that you need to mill, make threads at, and you need to index it to do that in one setup. So if somebody wants to convert the 3-axis machine into a 5-axis machine, they can just place this on the machine bed, either on the x-axis or the y-axis, depending on the machine, and they can easily configure the machine into a 5-axis table. Also, the advantage of this machine is also that we have easy cable management built into the particular into the product. So we kind of we've tried to improve, and we have taken feedback from customers. So this is the USSR 200 table. So it's the fastest moving rotary table in the Indian market right now.
Really?
Yeah.
That's faster, the fastest moving rotary table. But what should people maybe consider when they're looking at a table like this? Because you can have kind of 3+2 indexing, you can have full 5-axis. On the part here, you've got kind of 3+2 here. But then you also have a 5-axis scanning on for like the smooth engine ports. What do people have to think about? What kind of preparation do they have to do on their machines, or before they need to before they can install a product like this?
So usually, sometimes the machine manufacturer makes it 5-axis ready, where they input 2 drives into the machine's cabinet. But if not, we need to procure, we need to take a license from the machine manufacturer to make it enabled into a 5-axis machine. They add, if you have a Siemens or Fanuc controller, you buy extra Siemens and Fanuc motors and drive, and you can choose the right rotary table for your machine.
Fantastic. What about Heidenhain? You mentioned Siemens Fanuc. Can we do Heidenhain?
Yeah, so with Heidenhain, you can do the same, or you can even increase the indexing accuracy by putting a Heidenhain encoder into the product. So this works with a standard plus or minus 15 arc-second accuracy, but if you want to go lower to plus or minus 3, you can use an encoder that can be built.
So you get a closed loop, and then you can make sure you get not only improved volume out of your parts, but also improved part quality as well.
So that's pretty much very important when you come to machining complex structures and frames.
Okay, I love it. So we've talked about 4th axis, direct drive trunnions, 5th axis. Where to next? I guess there's a little bit here we're showing off, right?
Yeah, sure. So we're showing off a different set of product range for a different customer base. So these are our rotary tables that built into the machine system itself. So over here, what we have going on is a table which is built into the machine bed. It's a 4-axis table that's built into a machine bed. It's a direct drive option that's built in. OEMs usually prefer this particular model for customers.
Absolutely, because I guess if you have an OEM sending out a machine with a 5th axis, you lose a little bit of Z height, don't you? Whereas with this, it's completely built. I'm not going to touch it because it's moving quite very fast. But with this, it's built into the bed. You have as much Z space as you bought the machine for.
Exactly. So a lot of OEMs would generally prefer this particular product because they like to give value to their customers. They like to improve their productivity. This could be a good option.
Absolutely. So if you're an OEM out there, you're looking for maybe to put a rotary table inside your standard VMC normal product, then maybe that's a good option to pick. We've also got something behind all of these intriguing minds here. We wanted to have a quick look at what's happening. What's happening behind here?
So,
Maybe we've got to come back later.
Yeah. Let's come back in a minute.
Okay, we'll come back in a minute to that one because there's a few people that are very interested. And what are we looking at? Are these more accessories, or are these different kinds of rotary tables here?
So yeah, we have a bunch of accessories over here. Basically, you can mount a chuck on top of your 4th axis table. This is the rotary union which we saw inside the production system. We supply this as accessory components. We also have a couple of accessories that are integrated into the machines that can be integrated along with the 4th and 5th axis. It's a tailstock. So these are manual tailstock, it's a hydraulic tailstock, and there are unique features in this particular product as well. And customers usually prefer these systems along with it, so that you can have a complete solution. And this is one of our larger size. This is called a 320 table. So with a larger diameter.
Absolutely, and that's when you need to do some really big components, or you have smaller components but you want to fit lots of them on like a big fixture. You can access different sides, because if some customers are looking at these products and saying, well look, Varun, I don't have 5-axis job, I just have 3-axis with a few, it's square, I just change it over in the vise, what would you say to them when they say, I don't need a rotary table?
I ideally think that people would need to think about improving the productivity on the machine bed. If not now, in the future you might need a rotary table, right? You might need to do a 4-axis or 5-axis job. Your customer, if you do contract manufacturing, might require, might give you a complex part, and if you reject that part, I mean, the relationship with the client might go wrong
Okay,
over a
so
period of time.
it's better for the relationship with the client, the flexibility to help them make parts for them when maybe other people can't serve them. But what about when people say, well, look, if I put a fifth axis on, I'm going to lose my Z height. Do I have to keep it on my machine at all times?
No, you don't need to keep it on the machine the entire time. You can remove it and keep it outside as well if you want the full volume of the machine. But then you can mount it in different parts of the machine so that you can get more out of it. Some people mount the tilting table, the 5-axis machine on the Y-axis so that they have extra space. They even mount a tailstock, then make it into a production system. So you have different options that people think about. So it's all about innovative thinking, how you can use it to the most.
Yeah, I've seen hundreds of videos on YouTube, thousands and thousands of pictures on Instagram of people with amazing work holding ideas. Again, this is a tool, and you can probably use it as much as your imagination can let you in terms of creativity, designing the work holding. There's always a better way to make the part that you're making with better work holding, better accessories. Make sure you think about rotary tables, and maybe if you're in India, you can think UCAM.
Sure, definitely. I think you should definitely think about other options available. Before we finish, Roman, I think we should look at the product with which everybody was around it.
Yeah, okay, let's go. So the last little bit when everyone was looking through and we couldn't see it, Varun, you want to make sure you get the best out, so everything in the stand here.
This is one product that we missed. It's a 5-axis cantilever table that can be built into the machining center itself, where if you see an OEM, an original equipment manufacturer, whichever brand you are, nowadays they like to integrate the machine with 5-axis at optimum cost, and that's what we're targeting. We're trying to enable this technology to be given to the masses as well.
Absolutely.
So we have multiple versions of this particular product. It can come with a worm-driven version as well as a direct drive version as well.
Wow, so I guess OEMs, it's not just end users, OEMs can use your knowledge and your heritage in rotary tables for their own machines. So we've been to the UCAM stand. Thank you very much for watching. This has been IMTEX 2023.